Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Austin. How are you doing?
Great, Andrew. How are you doing?
Excellent. It was a good weekend. Let's get right to it, and let's talk about the obvious big story, because it was Elon Musk over the weekend on SNL. I don't watch SNL. I have no interest in it. But it was going to be I guess that's the equivalent of like Goldman Sachs having a press release conference about a stock and releasing news. This was the equivalent for a meme stock.
It's essentially the same thing.
So for Dogecoin, which we talked about because we put it in our little series about delusional, extraordinary popular delusions in the madness of crowds, talk about bubbles. It hasn't fully popped, obviously, but it's certainly been harmed. I think it's off its high of 74 cents down to 51 today. So you had a funny story, Austin, in regards to that, because like all things, I mean, doesn't mean you can't make money in bubbles. I mean, I've never said that. You can make money with Dogecoin, and you could probably make money shorting it now as well. But there'll be legs, and there'll be life in it. But tell me this Goldman Sachs story that you found.
Yeah, so it appears that a Goldman Sachs managing director out of London has apparently closed up shop after successing off of Dogecoin. So he's tapped enough. That was a big win for me, and that's all I need.
Yeah, so he made 72 times his money. This was a managing director at Goldman Sachs, based out of the London office. We'll leave his name, but you can look it up. I mean, really, at the end of the day, sure. Why would you want to do all the work 16 hours a day if you just made 72 times your money? And I'm sure he put in more than $10,000. So, hey, why not? I mean, it just shows you if you're paying attention. Yeah, there's lots of ways to make money. But this won't be the end of Dogecoin. We'll hear more about it as it struggles on its way down. But once again, this isn't just picking on crypto. There's amazing work being done in fintech, and there's obviously the future is in fintech. But Elon, telling people that, listen, this is just a hustle. That's what cut it down significantly. People realizing that it's a joke. It's a funny joke. And as cute as it is to have that cute little dog, that's your mascot. It kind of it really brings levity to how insane things are, and it doesn't even equate to the tulip mania, because at least you got a tulip. You don't get the dog. You don't get anything. You get a virtual picture. So, anyways, on to more real things out there. And before I jump into a little bit about Copper Bank and some mining stuff and some updates there, let me know what's happening with QU Media.
Well, QU's just we keep talking about them because they just keep hitting markers. They keep checking the right boxes and moving in the right direction. So they continue. I think last week was the fourth week in a row where they set a new high for ratings records. They've brought on Amazon as another sponsor. They're checking the right boxes. They're moving in the right direction. It's exactly what we want to see out of a company like that. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, it's we talked about it briefly before. Their revenue, it's 3 months trailing. So everyone who's sitting going, well, great. You've got ratings. Show me the revenue. You won't see that for still some time. So that could be a part of the reason why the stock is still sitting there, because we talked about how ratings equals revenue. They still want to see that, and it's a 3 months in arrears kind of play. So keep your eyes open. That makes it that's an interesting situation still, that you can pick up the stock for a very reasonable amount. So we're looking forward to hearing more things. I imagine it'll be a lot of news flow, especially when you have a media company. There'll be lots of news, but it's the revenue thing that'll really get people going. And once they see that pattern of, yes, you get these high Nielsen type scores, it does equate to revenue, then it takes on a life of its own. But we're getting there. So very exciting. And let's talk about, let's jump quickly. We'll jump over to Copper Bank, because that stock is up today almost 10%. And, of course, we're big fans of Copper Bank. Now more than ever, people are starting to put two and two together of where a lot of this electric future comes from. It comes from copper for the main part. That along with other key metals and mining. But copper really is the star of the show. And there's no one better than Gianni Kovacevic, who has championed this cause for a long time. And he sent a great email out. And for anybody who's interested, send me or Austin, Andrew or Austin at superchargedstocks.com, and we'll forward this to you. It's a bit too long for me to read out, which is great because it just goes into detail. And he just reminds people that from his book that I would urge you to go pick up as well. It was a best-selling book called My Electrician Drives a Porsche. In that, he highlights a lot of key themes that, I mean, is just commonplace now, like has copper decoupled from oil? Do you see a pivot from auto manufacturers to electromobility? Yes, like it's just a bunch of key themes that he talked about years ago, and now this is common, common knowledge, common talk out there as we move towards. So he sent out this great email. It goes through a detail of why Copper Bank, the amount of work that's being done on these assets that they have, the importance of why you should have this asset in the jurisdiction that it's in, and truly how undervalued it is compared to the last cycle that we've had in the mining cycle. So happy to share this email with you. It really puts things into perspective, and you can see as copper is hitting all-time highs, that people are starting to realize the absolute critical need for all of these metals and mining materials.
No, you're absolutely right. And we have obviously been big fans of copper and Copper Bank for a very long time. So it's just encouraging to see them putting out more info, steering people in the right direction. It got me excited. I know it got you excited as well, kind of looking at it and saying, yes, this is exactly the kind of message that we want to see a company like this pushing forward. So no, it's great, exciting. And like you mentioned, if anyone can feel along that info.
So the next one I want to jump into is strategic resources, because as people know, Vanadium Corp was one of my top picks for January, and it's run into a bit of a hiccup there with reporting for taxes. But we believe that it's just another 5 days away, possibly maybe 2 weeks, let's say. But they said middle of May they should be up and trading again. Hopefully we'll see. But to prove the point that Mr. Adrian Bacher had mentioned to us, that work has been going on strong behind the scenes. It doesn't mean just because the stock itself has been halted that that work stops. So Strategic Resources, which is a company that I like as well. It's in the vanadium space, and it's Scott Hicks who is the CEO over there. They just put out a news release today that's talking about using Vanadium Corp's electrochem process, their VEPT, on their titanomagnetite concentrate. So in their project in Mustavara in Finland, they're using Vanadium Corp's process. So this is a big step, and this is a big, a good starting relationship, let's say, and who knows where that blossoms to. But it's very interesting to see these two interacting together. And Vanadium Corp, they're testing out this process. They've done it before, and this will be in the Canadian spotlight in Quebec, which is very keen on this new energy play. I'm hoping that once Vanadium Corp can get out and start, really catching us up to speed, what's been happening, there'll be a flow of information. But this is a good hint. This is a very good hint, and I caught this one because that I like this project that Strategic Resources has as well. So big news there.
Big news, exciting news, and like you said, great to see that things haven't just been sitting in limbo. They've been soldiering ahead through this period of time and really getting things done.
Good stuff. And then you had a bit of an update from Globex Data as well.
Kind of just along that same lines as QU Media, just hitting markers, doing the things we want them to do. Sounds like the U.S. launch has been going really well. They've been featured on a couple of big media sites, getting a big push on that front. It'll be very interesting to see as we kind of round out the quarter what kind of subscription numbers they'll be turning out. That's something I'll be paying a lot of attention to. But, just fits into that exact same box as QU of hitting the right markers, going down the right path, doing things the right way, and really setting themselves up for success, in my opinion, with the way that they've achieved this rollout. And I think with the U.S. rollout going strong into this summer, it's going to be an absolute gravy train for them.
Great. And I just want to kind of follow up that I had an excellent chat with Dr. Mark Faber on Friday. It was eye-opening. It was a real pleasure to speak with him. Getting that level of knowledge and information is pretty exciting from someone who is, I equated it in the interview. This is someone who rose to the ranks of managing director for Drexel Burnham back in the 70s, which was a huge investment bank. And if you can reach to that levels in that high profile a job at such these jobs, let me put it this way, I equate it to kind of like sports. That's really the equating to making the Olympic team, is that you're competing, because it is a competition, with some of the brightest minds in finance going head to head in zero-sum games in capital markets. So it is not an easy feat. So to have someone like that who was on CNBC for years as well, a commentator who has a long list of successful predictions, was pretty astounding. So I encourage people. I've signed up to that newsletter as well, the Gloom, Boom, and Doom report, because the amount of information there is incredible. It's really great. So it was really great. I'm going to have that out soon. So I encourage people to hit that like and subscribe here. Also check out Supercharged Stocks. Sign up there to make sure that you see that interview, because it's going to be it's going to get out there and get seen a lot. And it's amazing. We talk about everything from mining and gold and silver and value, as well as crypto, because he's got lots of commentary about crypto. So that's really exciting, and I encourage people to watch that one. And this is the joy of my job, is I get to go interview people with so much experience that have done so well in their careers, and pick their brain, and then get to share it with people.
No, I know how excited you were to have that conversation, and then I got to hear how excited you were after you had that conversation. That should tell everyone everything they need to know about taking the chance to listen to the two of you talk. It's an absolutely fantastic chat. You guys hit on so many subjects, and it is one of the coolest parts about doing what we do, is getting to chat to incredibly intelligent people.
Yes, it is. It's a lot of fun. And this week is no different. So I'll be able to speak with Peter Bachvar from the Bach Report. He's the CIO, or Chief Investment Officer at Bleakley Advisory Group in the US. Also a very frequent CNBC contributor. I'm going to be doing that later this week. And we're going to be talking more about yield curve, inflation, which is big news. And of course, gold and silver. So, looking at value, looking at past behavior patterns, and make no mistake, just because we say it every 5 years, every 10 years, that this time is different, or things are different this time. And I assure you, things don't. History repeats. It may not rhyme, but it repeats. I think it was a Mark Twain saying, and it's true. So you have to look at value. You have to look at what makes sense. And when things diverge from that and they don't make sense, then they may not be so much value there. So that's going to be a great conversation too. Also, we're hoping to have people that I'm hoping to reach out to, is Crypto Star. I know people have been asking me if we can get them on. So that's one I'm hoping to lock up here as well. I would love to find out how things are going with their venture and learn more about it, because let's make no mistake, crypto is important. And so that's how the week's looking. How about you, Frost? Anything else?
Yeah, there's things I'll be keeping my eyes on as well. I think we can expect by Thursday this week to see some more QU numbers. So I'll be excited to see if they continue, for goes off.
Okay, well, unfortunately, it looks like we've got a bad connection problem here with Austin again.
Great.
And we'll just leave it at that, and hopefully we'll get the connection solved. I know that Austin was also, I think, going to be reaching out to Defy, which is a company that we've got some interest in, and hopefully we'll have a conversation with them. And I want to thank you all for joining us this Monday. Have a great week, and reach out to us if you have any questions, concerns, or would like us to talk to anyone, or if there's any CEOs that you'd like us to try to get on, and we'll try and get them. So enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. All the best.